Hello guys, welcome to the Shadowmanhwa Teller channel. At the beginning of the story, our main character says, everything was fine until 2026, but then, one day, a catastrophe struck, one so terrifying that humanity had no power to fight back. From deep within the earth, monstrous creatures began emerging, giant insect-like beings, the size of buildings. They would appear suddenly, without warning, and completely destroy major cities. Later, we found out that portals had opened between our world and another dimension. Through these portals, these monsters entered our realm. These rifts were named the Abyss, because they connected to a world where powerful monsters lived. In an attempt to survive, humanity distanced itself as far as possible from the Abyss. But the real twist came when it wasn't just monsters that came from the Abyss, radiation did too. That radiation began granting certain humans powers strong enough to fight these beasts. Those who gained such powers were later called Awakeners. As for the ones who couldn't awaken, they were treated like trash. Even though they were still human, the weakest were forced to take the dirtiest, most dangerous jobs. I'm one of them, Jungo, a nobody. My job? Lifting these heavy monster corpses into trucks. I get slapped around by my senior so he can vent his frustration, and despite everything, I can't even get angry, because I lost the right to be angry long ago. Being weak takes that from you. Honestly, these seniors don't even see us as human. Their superiors yell at them, so they take it out on us. But what can we do? If we try to stand up for ourselves, we'll lose even this job, and without it, we might not even get food to survive. One day, my captain growled, I want every single body gone by today, or don't expect to eat again. Just as I started moving a corpse, the ground suddenly began to shake, and to my horror, I saw that one of the monsters was still alive. Panicked, the captain shouted, how the hell is one still alive? Everyone immediately started running. The captain thought to himself, if I keep running like this, I'll fall behind. Just running won't save me. And then, he shot me in the leg. As I fell, I yelled, Captain, why did you do that? He replied coldly, you're just a lowly worker. If you die here, no one will care. But if something happens to me, who'll lead the team? That's when it hit me. He used me as bait. Everyone else was strong enough to escape, but since I'm the weakest, they left me behind to die. Honestly, I never wanted much from this world. I just wanted to survive. But even that, humanity couldn't give me. As I wept, something crawled onto my hand. I looked at it and muttered, damn, even these cockroaches have better luck than me. In a world this harsh, they still survive easily, no stress, no food worries. Sometimes I wish I were a cockroach. And then, just like that, the monster struck me down. A system suddenly appeared, saying, attempting to resurrect host. All attempts failed. After several failed attempts, the system finally succeeded in resurrecting Jungo. When he opened his eyes, he thought, I must be dead. Wait, hold on, I just moved my hand. But what is this hand? This doesn't look human. And when Jungo saw his reflection, he was shocked. He had become a cockroach. What the hell? I was joking. Did I seriously become a cockroach? He noticed he now had extra limbs, but weirdly enough, they didn't feel unnatural. He glanced at his back and noticed some strange muscles. Then suddenly, without warning, Jungo started flying. What is happening to me? I just thought about my back and I started flying. Is that how cockroach bodies work? He muttered regretfully, if I'd known I could make a wish before dying, I'd have asked for something amazing. Why the hell did I wish for this? Just then, a voice echoed, humans are pathetic. You were blessed by the cockroach god, and you're mocking his gift? A giant cockroach appeared before him and said, for 5,000 years, not a single human ever wished to become a cockroach. You were the first. I was overjoyed and willingly gave you my powers. I thought I'd finally found someone worthy, but looking at you now, I see regret. You clearly wasted your wish. Jungo thought to himself, I've read so many fantasy novels, always thinking the authors were full of crap. Never did I imagine I'd meet a real system in front of me. He dropped to his knees and pleaded, brother system, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'll accept your blessing with full gratitude. But it was too late. The cockroach god had already vanished. The system informed him, you've disappointed the cockroach god. Your misfortune begins now. Jungo groaned, I messed up. I pissed off my cheat code. What if it never comes back? For the next 10 days, Jungo knelt down and begged for forgiveness, knowing he couldn't survive in this body without the system. Meanwhile, other cockroaches whispered, what's this guy doing? He's gone insane. Jungo thought bitterly, no shame at all. They're calling me crazy right to my face. That night, Jungo sat in silence and thought, wishing to become a cockroach was one thing, but now that I actually am one, I can feel how horrible their life is. The things they eat, I could never eat what they're eating. As Jungo sat lost in thought, a cockroach approached and said, brother, here, fresh food. Our elders left this for us. If you don't eat it now while it's still fresh, it'll go bad. Jungo looked at it in disgust and replied, get this trash away from me. The fatty cockroach chimed in, brother, why are you being shy? We all share food here, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. But suddenly, Jungo, angry, punched the fatty cockroach. As it tumbled to the ground, Fatty whimpered, brother, that really hurt. Jungo replied, sorry, but your breath stinks. Next time, brush before you speak to me. Time passed. 5 more nights went by, and now Jungo, starving, was in really bad shape. He thought to himself, I know everything in front of me is trash, but my cockroach body isn't listening to me anymore. Even this garbage is starting to look delicious. He moved forward and began tearing into a waste bag. I'm not like the others. I won't eat just anything. There's got to be something in this trash I can eat. Finally, he found something. Food that had expired 3 years ago. Jackpot. Finally, something decent to eat. The system popped up and announced, 1 expired pie detected. But since you are now a cockroach, this is nothing less than a grand feast. Jungo groaned. How's a 3-year-old pie a feast? But hunger won. He took a bite, and as he chewed, he exclaimed, wow, this actually tastes amazing. I never imagined expired food could be this tasty. Another 5 days passed. Still, the cockroach god didn't return. Jungo had assumed that being a cockroach in a post-apocalyptic world would be a huge advantage, that survival would be easy. But now, he realized, nothing in this world was easy. Sure, his cockroach form made him immune to many dangers, but if a stronger insect came along, it could end him in a second. He thought, these cockroaches, they're actually pretty decent. If I became their king, surviving would be way easier. They're all cockroaches, but I've got a human brain. With it, I can dominate them and build a powerful army. Looking at Fatty, Jungo said, Fatty, I see a lot of potential in you. Want to join my team and work for me? But Fatty scoffed. At least the elder cockroaches bring us food. You don't even do that. Why should we follow you? Jungo frowned. I underestimated them. If I want them to work under me, I'll have to prove I'm worth following. I need to wait for the right opportunity. Soon, 20 days had passed since Jungo became a cockroach, and finally, that opportunity arrived. The elder cockroaches announced, starting today, we're relocating to a new place where we can find better food. If we stay here any longer, predators will devour us. So you younger ones have 2 options, stay and wait for death, or come with us and live a hardened life. The smaller cockroaches began to cry, will we still get food? Jungo watched them and thought, wow, these guys are seriously scared. The moment food is mentioned, they start crying. Fatty sobbed, the outside world is dangerous. I'm honestly really scared to go out there. Jungo wondered, why are they all so afraid? These cockroaches are lazy. They don't even want to work for their own food. Then the elder cockroaches asked, is there anyone among you willing to go ahead and scout? Don't just stare at the ground, lift your heads. But all the smaller cockroaches cowered in fear. Jungo stood tall and thought, I don't need to be afraid. The elders don't feed me. I can find my own food. I don't need anyone's charity. Just then, the system spoke. The cockroach god says if you accept this mission, he might forgive you. Without hesitation, Jungo raised his hand and declared, I'm ready to lead. Fatty, delighted, said, brother, you're amazing. If you hadn't stepped up, they probably would have sent me instead. Jungo thought, if the things I read in novels were true, like if you have the system, no one can lay a hand on you, then I'll do whatever it takes to win that system back. Once outside, Jungo said confidently, this is nothing. I just have to cross a demo field. Why were you all so scared of such an easy task? Nervously, Fatty replied, looks like you really don't know what this mission's about. He explained, whenever food supplies run low, the elder cockroaches pick one of us to scout the field. Sure, the job sounds simple, just walk across the field. But in reality, that field is home to terrifying predators. At any moment, we can become their next meal. Going out there isn't just a task, it's an invitation to death. If you're stepping out there, you're putting your life entirely in the hands of luck. Jungo, visibly shaken, muttered under his breath, what? Is this for real? This mission, it's way too dangerous. As panic crept in, Jungo couldn't shake the thought, why would the cockroach god do this to me? Are they planning to sacrifice me? Am I just bait in their grand scheme? Standing up, he clenched his fists and declared, look, I'm not an idiot. I've got a pretty solid plan to keep us fed without following orders from these giant bugs. Just then, a massive cockroach loomed over him and growled, you really think you can walk away? On the other side of that dam lies a feast, countless corpses ripe for devouring. Now move, or starve. Jungo glanced at the creature and thought, these cockroaches, after devouring powerful monsters, they've evolved, especially the big ones. They're thinking like humans now. With a hint of sarcasm, Jungo replied, well, if I'm being honest, I'm on a diet. I don't need that much food. You guys go ahead. I'll find my own meal. Furious, the giant cockroach lifted him off the ground. I told you to shut up and move. Cross that dam, or you'll be dinner tonight. We'll eat you before we even touch the others. Jungko's mind raced. Doesn't matter who you are, if you're weak, the powerful will always crush you. I've seen supervisors like this before, back when I was human, no different than these overgrown bugs. The cockroach tossed him aside. Get moving. I'm giving you food, that's a privilege. Jungko clenched his jaw. I have to reclaim my system, sitting here won't help. If I want respect, I have to become stronger. No one's coming to save me. Determined, he led his team forward. Stay alert. If you see anything, say something, fast. As they moved, Jungko yanked his arm away from a clinging teammate. Fatty, don't cling to me. We need courage right now. Fear's not going to save us. But something didn't sit right. There's no river here, so why all these stones? Meanwhile, the giant cockroaches watched the smaller group. They've already made it halfway. Nothing's happened to them yet. We should move, another added. You're right. We can't let those pests eat all the good stuff. Move out. Eat everything. Jungko's expression darkened. These bastards can fly, but they still sent us ahead to scout. Cowards. Suddenly, he felt something, movement behind them. When he turned, his eyes widened. A massive toad loomed in the distance. Shaken, Jungko whispered, I knew it. These weren't just stones. These toad monsters were lying in wait. This was a trap, and we walked right into it. The group panicked, bolting for their lives. But the toads struck fast, ruthlessly. The system chimed in, warning, mutant toads are hunting you. Avoid detection. Their one weakness. They cannot see anything that remains still. Jungko yelled, everyone, freeze. Don't move an inch. They can't see us unless we move. That's when the cockroach god suddenly appeared beside him. I've come to give you two choices. 1. Take the easy way out and escape. Or 2. Risk everything to save your friend, and earn yourself a loyal follower for life. One who could help you become the cockroach king. Jungko's mind raced. We can't fight these toads. If I die here, there's no chance of becoming king. But can I really leave Fatty behind? His memories flashed back. I was just like him, alone, terrified. Back then, I didn't wish to become a cockroach. I wished someone would turn back and save me. He took a deep breath. I have two options. Just like those cowards who ran. But I won't be like them. I'm not that kind of monster. I'm saving Fatty. Overwhelmed, Fatty cried, Brother, you're amazing. Jungko scoffed. Please shut your mouth, you stink. But before they could continue, Jungko noticed, one of the toads had gotten too close. There was no way out. Without hesitation, he shoved Fatty to safety and sacrificed himself. The system echoed. You've passed the cockroach god's first trial. You have earned the right to reclaim your system. Welcome back. You've been granted your first ability, Devouring skill. Anything you consume, you gain its powers. And now, your reward. Your human body has been restored. Jungko grinned. Finally, I'm back. The cockroach god looked at him with approval. At first, I thought you were just another coward. I was ready to abandon you, but now I see, you care for your people. You may just be worthy of becoming my successor. Jungko looked up. So what now? Does this mean I stay in human form forever? Can I never turn back into a cockroach again? The cockroach god answered calmly. Becoming my successor means gaining power, but it doesn't mean you must remain a cockroach. You can inherit my legacy in whatever form you choose. Still frustrated, Jungko shook his head. Can you just be clear for once? Your cryptic talk doesn't make sense to me. The cockroach god's tone sharpened. Becoming my successor means you've become immortal. You can stay in your human body. It's immortal now. There's no need to return to being a cockroach. Jungko's eyes lit up. That's amazing. I didn't just become human again. I can move freely, too. The cockroach god nodded. You fought hard to save your friend. That's why I gave your powers back. Suddenly, Jungko's expression changed. He looked down and said, I don't know why, but it feels like I just stepped on something. He glanced at his foot and froze. He had crushed little Fatty. The cockroach god exploded with rage. What have you done? I gave you these powers to save that Fatty, and you killed him without even realizing it. Jungko's thoughts raced. It was because of little Fatty that I became human again, and I accidentally used this very body to destroy him. The cockroach god's going to be furious. If he leaves now, he'll never come back. He took a deep breath. It's time to use my acting skills. I've got to fool him. The cockroach god growled. I must have picked a fool. You're not fit to be my successor. Suddenly, Jungko dropped to his knees and began sobbing loudly. If my friend isn't in this world, what's the point of me being here? Honestly, I feel horrible. I didn't mean for this to happen. His acting was top tier. The cockroach god paused, watching him closely. Maybe I misjudged him. He really does care about Fatty. He finally spoke again. Don't cry, Jungko. Little Fatty is fine. He's not hurt. In fact, he can't be hurt anymore, because he's now your guardian, as long as you live. So will he? Jungko looked up, stunned. To bring Fatty back, you don't need to do anything special. Just defeat these monsters and recharge your energy. Once that's done, he'll return. Jungko clenched his fists. At first, I was going to let these toad monsters go, but now, looks like it's their destiny to die by my hands. He stepped forward, cracking his knuckles. All right, Bugs, you're about to witness the true power of a human. But before he could strike, a toad monster jumped onto his arm and landed a brutal punch. Jungo yelled, "What the hell? I turn into a titan for 2 minutes and you become Commander Levi? You think you can take me down that easily?" The cockroach god shouted, "Idiot, look at your arm. These toads are dangerous. Just touching their skin burns yours." Suddenly, the toad monster spotted a large cucumber-like organ inside Jungo's body. It lashed out with its tongue, aiming straight for it. Jungo screamed, "Cockroach god, help me. These toads are freaking evil, they're torturing me." The cockroach god scolded him, "Fool, I already gave you an ability. Why aren't you using it?" "What ability?" Jungo asked, eyes wide. "I gave you something called Devour. You don't need to do much. Just devour one of these toads. Once you do, you'll gain permanent immunity to them, and access to their powers." He added proudly, "It's an incredible ability. You just have to devour everything in your path and their powers will become yours." But Jungo hesitated. He refused to devour the toad. That's when more toads swarmed and surrounded him. Jungo thought to himself, "Am I seriously going to die here again? And to such weak monsters? Looks like I have no other choice. I have to devour them." He took a deep breath and lunged. The moment he devoured a toad, he felt incredible powers awaken within him. "My body, it feels so light now. It's time to teach them a lesson." With a single strike, he knocked down an entire squad of toads. Being powerful feels amazing. Didn't even take me 5 minutes to wipe them out. Just then, several vehicles surrounded him. He turned to see the symbol of the extermination squad emblazoned on their sides. Jungo narrated to himself, "Ever since the apocalypse, humanity has been getting weaker. That's why a team of powerful individuals was formed. People who explore the abyss and fight the monsters there. They also eliminate any monsters that make it to the cities. They say the extermination squad is humanity's blessing. They don't care about their own lives. They just fight to protect others." Jungo smiled with relief. "I've met these guys before. That means I'm saved. I'll finally get to go back to a city where other humans live." He stepped forward, hopeful. "You all came to rescue me, right?" Without warning, the squad opened fire. Jungo dropped unconscious. One of the soldiers spoke into a radio. "We've found something weird. We're bringing him back to the lab." But Jungo wasn't out for long. Moments later, he stood back up. Unbeknownst to them, Jungo had activated the elastic muscle ability. Right in time, not a single needle had pierced his skin. The squad readied their weapons. "Our target is dangerous. Everyone, prepare for battle." The squad members were murmuring to one another, clearly tense. "Our target is highly dangerous. Everyone, get ready to engage." At the same time, Jungo was desperately trying to explain himself. "I'm human too, just like you. Please don't shoot, I'll explain everything." The squad raised their weapons, just about to fire, when the captain raised her hand. "Hold your fire, we're taking him to the lab. There's no need to kill him." Jungo's face twisted in confusion. "What do you mean by lab? Can't you see I can talk just like a normal human? In what world do I look like a monster to you?" Suddenly, soldiers on bikes moved in and restrained him, but Jungo reacted quickly. Using his poison, he burned through the restraints and slipped free with ease. The captain narrowed her eyes. "So he's an awakener. I wasn't expecting that. This just got a lot more fun." She gave the order to capture him again, and the rest of the squad immediately chased after him. One soldier lunged in, but Jungo shifted his body into a defensive form and darted away at lightning speed. "System, these people are seriously dangerous. Give me a new skill now or I'm done for." The system responded immediately. "You've unlocked Frog Leap. Use it to escape like a frog, agile and far." As he bounded away, Jungo felt a flicker of hope. "I think I've finally outrun them. No way they're catching me now." But just as he turned a corner, the captain used her silk thread ability to ensnare him. She tightened the grip, smirking. "What? Did you think escaping would be that easy?" In one smooth motion, she wrapped Jungo's entire body like a cocoon. Then she turned to her squad. "How many others like him have we captured so far?" A soldier in the back answered. "Including him? 13. We've found 12 others recently. Strange humans like this have been showing up a lot lately." The scene shifts to Mengjin's stronghold city. A loud announcement echoed at the gate. "Vice Captain Aline has returned. Open the gates immediately." Aline marched through the gates with Jungo in custody, bringing him into their squad's detention sector. Jungo snapped. "How many times do I have to tell you people, I'm human? Why can't you understand that? The only reason I didn't have clothes when we met was because I just came out of somewhere." One of the doctors stepped forward. "He's definitely different from the other 12. They couldn't speak, but he can." Aline nodded. "Be careful, doctor. We've found 12 like him in the past few weeks. They couldn't talk. They reacted like mindless beasts. but physical scans showed they were human. Still, everything about their behavior screamed otherwise. Another doctor muttered, he could be an evolved version, one that not only looks like a human, but acts like one too. The first doctor shook her head. I still don't understand why we're keeping them alive. They barely function, and killing them wouldn't cause us any problems. The other doctor scolded her. How can you say that as a medical professional? What if those 12 are just mentally ill, actual humans who've lost control of their minds? If we kill them without knowing, how are we any different from monsters? Meanwhile, Jungo was thinking fast. So that's why they captured me. They've found 12 others who looked human but acted like monsters. Now they're testing their bodies to confirm whether they're really human. His eyes widened. Wait, does that mean they're going to test me too? But I'm still a cockroach at my core. The tests will expose everything. Cockroach God. I'm a cockroach, remember? Once they test me, they'll know. But the cockroach God sounded clueless. Testing? What are you talking about? Jungo froze. He doesn't know anything? Then who's going to save me now? What if they decide I'm a monster and kill me? Just then, the team entered the lab, but something was wrong. The 12 other test subjects were nowhere to be seen. Only one man remained, sitting eerily still in a chair. Aline narrowed her eyes. Where did the others go? Then, to their shock, the remaining man began to transform. So did the others, emerging from the shadows. Already mid-transformation, they weren't human at all. They had become monsters. The man in the chair morphed into his true form, a tentacled creature. So, you're a tentacle monster, Aline said coolly. Revealing yourself here was a big mistake. No matter how hard you try, you're not getting out of this. The tentacle monster smirked and launched a thick, needle-tipped tentacle, injecting poison directly into Dr. and Jungo's body. Jungo gasped. What is this poison? I can't move at all. The cockroach god's voice echoed urgently. That's no ordinary toxin. It's a parasitic venom. It'll destroy your body from the inside and turn you into a permanent zombie. The monster sneered. I'm here to eliminate all of you humans. Once you're dead, your bodies will serve me. Aline's eyes widened. She spoke. A monster that can talk? I've never seen anything like this. The creature then threw the two doctors forward, straight toward Aline. Dodging swiftly, she clenched her fists. Fighting while protecting these two is going to be tough. To make things worse, I don't even have my weapons with me, and with civilians nearby, I can't unleash my full power. She took a deep breath. This fight is going to be hell. Just then, Aline's eyes landed on a knife. Without wasting a second, she snatched it up and hurled it straight at the monster, but the creature quickly pulled the doctors in front of him as human shields. Aline narrowed her eyes and thought, I knew it. This thing was never going to fight fair. It was bound to rely on cowardly tactics like this. Meanwhile, the cockroach god called out to Jungo, telling him not to get distracted and to begin devouring the monster's abilities immediately. He explained that once the monster's powers were consumed, its parasites would no longer affect him. As Jungo activated his devouring ability, he could feel his resistance to the parasites increasing by the second. Aline shouted at the monster, challenging it. If you've got any guts, then come out and fight face to face. You know, in our world, cowards who hide behind others are nothing but disgraceful. The monster sneered and responded mockingly, saying she was trying to provoke him. But let's be honest, it's pointless. As long as I have these girls as my shields, there's nothing you can do to hurt me. Aline smirked and replied coldly, looks like you're seriously delusional. With a flick of her wrist, she launched a barrage of blades at the monster, thinking to herself, I was right, its body is weak, that's why it keeps hiding behind others. But suddenly, something terrifying happened. Every wound inflicted on the monster's body appeared identically on the captured doctors. Aline gasped, stunned. What the hell just happened? The tentacled monster let out a dark chuckle and said, You're wondering what's going on, aren't you? The truth is, I've merged my body with these humans. I now use their life force to heal myself. If you injure me, they suffer the same wounds. Aline clenched her fists and thought grimly, this thing's a walking nightmare. Where the hell is the rest of my team? The monster taunted her further, saying, You're trapped too now. Take a look at your hand. Aline glanced down and froze. What? When did this parasite get on me? Why isn't my hand responding? The monster laughed again. I figured you'd fall for it, just like the others. Now, I'll make you destroy yourself with your own hands, and you won't be able to stop it. Aline's eyes hardened. You monsters all share the same pathetic assumption, that humans don't think. I'll admit, your trap was clever. Anyone else might have been finished by now, but not me. She stepped forward with fierce confidence and said, Let me introduce my ability, Spider Silk. I can control the body of any enemy I bind. So do you really think you can make my hand fight me? She tightened her grip. Watch closely. I broke out of your trap without breaking a sweat. The monster growled. Fine, you escaped this time, but how long do you think you'll last? I've got girls acting as my power banks. If I run low, I just refill. But you're human. You'll get tired. You'll break down, and then you'll die. Aline's voice cut through his threats, and I'll still shatter your arrogance, by ending you. Just then, Jungo began to move. The monster's eyes widened in disbelief. What? I can't control him? Then I'll just destroy him. Snarling, it launched a deadly strike at Jungo, but Aline reacted in a flash, casting her silken threads and pulling him out of harm's way. Jungo said, "Thanks for saving my life." Aline eyed him cautiously. "I'm sure of it now, you're not one of them. But if that's true, and you still have control over your mind, why were you wandering like that earlier?" Jungo replied calmly, "I already tried telling you all." She looked at him again, her suspicion fading. "Seems like the monster can't fully control your body. In that case, I'm giving you two options. 1, we both die fighting here, or 2, I hold off the monster while you go out and call for backup." Jungo shook his head. "I don't like either of those options. That's why I'm choosing option 3. Aline blinked. "Option 3? What's that supposed to mean?" He grinned. "Option 3 is simple. We team up, and we beat the crap out of this bastard together. Let's show this mushroom freak just how dangerous humans can be." Aline stared at him like he'd lost his mind. "I've seen plenty of lunatics, but you're on a whole new level. Do you even care about your life?" Jungo's smile faded. In his mind, he thought, "This isn't about survival. I know what it feels like to be completely alone. That's why I can't bear to leave anyone behind." Then, out loud, he said, "I hate people who abandon their teammates, even if I have to face monsters, or death itself. I'll always stand my ground. I'll never turn my back like a coward." Aline glanced at him, thinking, "I'll give him this. Either he's insanely stupid, or insanely brave. Most people wouldn't step up to be a hero in a situation like this." Jungo, meanwhile, was calculating his move. "The parasites don't work on me. The system said I can handle this monster. I have to fight now, not just to survive, but to prove myself to their squad. Otherwise, they'll keep throwing me to the wolves." Just then, the mushroom monster roared and unleashed a devastating tentacle attack aimed at Aline. Jungo turned to her and asked, "You said your silk lets you control bodies, right?" "I've got the power, but not the skills. Can you control my body and fight through me?" "The parasites won't work on me anyway." Aline nodded without hesitation. Her silk wrapped around Jungo, and in the next moment, she took control of his movements, sending him charging into battle with precision. The mushroom monster sneered and said, "No matter how fast you are, you can't outrun my tentacles." But Jungo weaved between the doctors and closed the distance in a flash. The monster's eyes widened in disbelief. "This human, he's fast. I must have underestimated them all." Jungo didn't hesitate. He darted forward and threw a punch straight at the monster's core, but with a quick motion, the mushroom monster blocked it using his powerful tentacles. "You're weak. A punch like that can't do anything to me." Just then, Jungo's new abilities activated. His muscles expanded like elastic cords, and a poisonous glow pulsed through his veins. Using his enhanced body, he ripped through the monster's tentacles with ease. Aline, watching from the side, was stunned. How many abilities does this guy have? He broke through the monster's barrier like it was nothing. Even the mushroom monster gasped. "Impossible. How can a mere human be this strong?" Jungo smirked. "You were talking a lot just a minute ago. What's wrong? Cat got your tongue?" But the monster snarled back. "It's not over yet. I'll just regenerate the damage by using these humans, and when I do, I'll kill you first." Then he paused, and looked down, horrified. His body wasn't healing. Off to the side, Aline stood beside 2 freed doctors. She said calmly, "I've already removed your parasites from their bodies. You can't use them as power banks anymore, and that means, your end starts now." The monster growled, "Don't celebrate too early, human. I've still got one last trump card." With a roar, he absorbed the remaining 11 hostages, and in an instant, transformed into a larger, more grotesque form. He grinned. "So, what do you think of my final transformation? I hope you're not disappointed by this new power." Then, in a blur, he shot toward Aline and landed a devastating punch. She staggered back, eyes wide. "He's gotten even faster. I can't even track his movements anymore." Jungo watched helplessly. When did he get that close to Aline? Before they could react, the monster pounced again and began brutally pummeling her. In moments, she was battered and bleeding. "You hit me earlier, didn't you? Now it's your turn." He turned to Jungo. "And you're next." Jungo's heart pounded. This is bad. Something terrible is about to happen. The monster lunged and struck Jungo with a brutal blow. Inside his mind, the system's voice echoed, "Warning, critical damage to the skull. Internal organs have sustained heavy trauma. Activating immunity skill to initiate recovery." Moments later, Jungo's body began to regenerate, his wounds sealing rapidly. He gasped, "I thought I was dead. How am I still alive?" The cockroach god's voice responded sternly, "Stay down. If that monster hits you again, I might not be able to heal you next time. I've already used too much energy to keep you alive." Jungo gritted his teeth, realizing the truth. I can't do anything else now, Vice Captain Aline. You'll have to finish this fight on your own. The mushroom monster turned back to Jungo and laughed. I thought you'd be strong, but compared to that girl, you're nothing. Despite her injuries, Aline stood up once again and charged the monster, but the creature grabbed her mid-strike and slammed her into the ground repeatedly. You thought I wouldn't notice you sneaking up on me? I'm not some clueless child. You made a big mistake thinking you could get close. With a final hurl, he tossed her to the side like a rag doll. Despite her injuries, Aline stood up once again and charged the monster, but the creature grabbed her mid-strike and slammed her into the ground repeatedly. You thought I wouldn't notice you sneaking up on me? I'm not some clueless child. You made a big mistake thinking you could get close. With a final hurl, he tossed her to the side like a rag doll. Aline groaned, pain racking her body. I never imagined this fight would turn out to be this brutal. Half my body's not responding, but the other half still works. I can hold him off, at least until someone shows up. Nearby, Jungo looked on in despair. Even Aline can't keep up with him, and none of my abilities are working against this monster. Is this the end? Just then, one of the doctors lying nearby handed him a glowing crystal. Take this, get it to Aline, it'll boost her power. It might be our only hope. Jungo stared at the crystal. If I throw it, the monster will see it and destroy it. I'll have to take the risk myself. The cockroach god's voice returned. Your elastic muscles make you faster than most. If you push them beyond their limit, you might reach a speed the monster can't detect. Right now, your chances of reaching Aline are just 10%, but if you stay here, death is certain. It's your call, Jungo. I won't force you. Jungo clenched the crystal and activated his elastic muscle skill, launching himself forward at blinding speed. From afar, the mushroom monster sensed movement. These pathetic humans, why won't they give up? Their tricks won't work on me. The cockroach god's voice echoed again, grim and urgent. He's noticed you. Your success rate just dropped from 10% to 5%. Jungo had been thinking to himself, if everything goes according to plan, there's no way I'll fail. He launched himself into a high leap, hurtling straight toward the mushroom monster, but before he could get halfway, the beast's massive hand shot out and snatched him midair. The mushroom monster growled, "What did you think? That getting past me would be easy? Foolish human, this is your end." Watching from afar, the cockroach god muttered, "This really is your end, Jungo." And with that, the mushroom monster slammed Jungo into the ground. But even in that brutal moment, Jungo thought defiantly, who said I'm finished? To tell the truth, this was the real plan all along. With all his remaining strength, he flung the crystal across the battlefield, toward Aline. The mushroom monster roared and launched a devastating attack at Jungo. I told you, you're weak. If you had accepted defeat earlier, your death might have been easy. But no, you had to resist. But as the smoke cleared, it realized something was wrong. Jungo was still alive, completely unharmed. It was Aline. She'd used her spider silk just in time to shield him. The monster snarled, "Spider silk? That pisses me off." Aline, bloodied and barely standing, wrapped her entire body in her silk to reinforce her shattered limbs. "You went through all that, just to protect this crystal," she said, glancing at Jungo. "You've got guts, kid, and I like that." Then, without hesitation, she spun her silk and entangled the mushroom monster in a full-body bind. The monster struggled and thought, what the hell? How did her silk suddenly become this powerful? He tried to pull her toward him, but Aline flipped him and slammed the beast to the ground, advancing with her snow blade. "This is my strongest attack. You're not escaping this one." But just before the impact, shock struck her face. The mushroom monster had caught her strike effortlessly. He laughed. "This is your strongest power? Even if you humans borrowed our strength, you're still pathetically weak." Then, with a swift motion, it shattered Aline's weapon and stabbed her through the side. Jungo's heart sank. Did Aline lose? Is this really the end? As the monster moved in for a finishing blow, at that moment, someone approached and separated both his hands from his body. Jungo stared in disbelief. Who the hell was that? He just cut off the monster's arms like it was nothing. Two more figures appeared through the smoke. The mushroom monster hissed, "And who are you supposed to be?" One of them, a girl, rushed to Aline's side. She said calmly, "She's severely injured. If I don't treat her immediately, her condition could worsen." It was Captain Haley, of Squad 10. The other figure turned to Aline and said, "Don't worry, Aline, no monster is getting past us now." He was Captain Philo, of Squad 2. Then, from behind them, a third voice echoed powerfully. The Chief Commander Carey himself stepped forward. "This monster is fascinating. It's the first time I've ever seen one that can actually talk. Killing it might be fun." Aline called out, struggling to speak. "Chief Commander Carey, please, be careful. This one's nothing like the others." Carey replied, "Relax, I've got this." Haley snapped at the group, "I'm healing people here. Could you all just shut up for a minute?" She activated her ability, Revival, and wrapped the wounded in glowing flowers. Jungo could feel his body relaxing inside the petals. these flowers, they feel amazing. It's like they're filling me with new energy. I'm getting sleepy." Suddenly, an injection pierced his arm. The cockroach god looked down at him and said, "You can't sleep now, kid. What you're about to witness is the peak of human power. You need to see this." Carrie stepped forward, voice calm but firm. "My name is Carrie Viren, Chief Commander of the Extermination Squad. Since you can speak like a human, I figured we might have an interesting chat." But the mushroom monster sneered, "Unfortunately, I don't talk to my food." Carrie's eyes narrowed as he noticed something dropping from the ceiling. The mushroom monster grinned. "I knew it. You're the strongest in this city. I always knew I'd have to face you someday. I've already devoured every other target in this city. You're the last one left. And this time, you won't escape." It lunged at Carrie. From behind the barrier, Jungo gasped. "We couldn't even handle one monster, and now there are so many of them." Just then, Captain Philo unleashed a single punch and obliterated several monsters at once. Haley raised a barrier of cyclone winds around the flower-wrapped wounded. Jungo was stunned. They created a barrier using cyclone, and it's strong. No monster could possibly break through that. Philo called out, "Haley, I've got monsters handled. Watch the others." Haley smirked. "Don't worry, these weaklings, I've got them covered." Jungo watched in awe. "The captains, their power is on a completely different level. I thought Aline was strong as vice captain, but these guys are on another level entirely. If even one of them had been here earlier, that monster would have been finished by now." But the mushroom monster snarled again. "Your captains? They're busy. It's just you and me now. Let's see who really has the power." He absorbed everything in its surroundings, then transformed again, becoming even larger and more monstrous than before. Jungo's eyes widened. "What is this thing? A monster, or a super scion? He just keeps evolving." Commander Carey chuckled. "You know, I envy creatures like you sometimes. You can shift forms whenever you want, grow stronger instantly. We humans, we have to earn every ounce of it, with pain and blood." Just then, the mushroom monster lunged at the commander with a devastating punch, but with effortless grace, the commander dodged the strike. He smirked and said, "That attack wasn't nearly fast enough." Infuriated, the monster sprouted multiple arms and launched a flurry of attacks, but not a single one touched the commander. He moved like a phantom, untouchable. Then, without warning, the monster extended his tentacles and managed to bind the commander. Grinning wickedly, the monster growled, "You're not going anywhere now, human. This is your end. You've been caught." The commander didn't flinch. With a calm but cold tone, he said, "I was in the mood to play, but I guess now, I'll just have to kill you." In the next instant, his counterattack shattered the monster's form, slicing him into countless pieces. Stunned and disoriented, the monster muttered, "What just happened? I didn't even see it coming. I really lost?" The vice commander stared him down and replied flatly, "Believe it, this is reality." With a single flick of his finger, he disintegrated the last remaining fragments of the monster. All that was left was its brain, the true source controlling everything. Grinning with satisfaction, the commander declared, "Finally, I got it." He looked toward his comrades and said, "Guys, you won't believe it, but I caught the talking monster. We had no intel on it until now. So, can I name it?" From behind, Haley and Philo sighed in disbelief. "Our boss is such an idiot. Our entire lab, the one we spent a fortune building, is completely destroyed, and he's standing there trying to name a monster." Jungo chuckled and said, "Man, that thing was seriously powerful, but when they were fighting, it didn't feel like he was the monster, it was the commander who looked like one." The cockroach god chimed in, "That's exactly why I kept you awake to witness it. But now, Jungo, it's okay to collapse." When Jungo opened his eyes, he found himself submerged in a bathtub. He blinked in confusion and muttered, "Wait, how the hell did I end up in a bath?" He heard some voices nearby. Blushing slightly, he thought, "What's going on here? How can there be two people in the same tub?" Just then, Aline's voice called out, "Finally, you're awake." She looked at him with a teasing grin and added, "So, your tests haven't come back yet, which meant you had to stay under observation for the night. But honestly, after that fight, you really helped me out a lot. So, I figured I'd just take you home with me." Jungo, clearly flustered, stammered, "Shouldn't we be talking somewhere else? Like, not here? Can't we do this outside?" Aline shrugged. "Hot water's still running. Not like we've got many options." She reached out a hand. "I'm Aline, vice captain of the extermination squad, and thanks for saving me back there. So what's your name?" Jungo replied, "Far as I can remember, it's Jungo." Aline smiled. "That was a long, brutal fight. Let me see how your wounds are doing." She leaned forward and began inspecting his back. Jungo stiffened and thought, "This world really is insane. Am I the only one who's even a little embarrassed?" Aline whispered, "Your body's incredible. I clearly remember how badly you were injured. But now, no scars, you're fully healed. That healing power of yours, it's remarkable." From within Jungo's mind, the cockroach god's voice echoed, Jungo, you're in quite the situation. Your heart rate's going through the roof. Want me to activate the special mode? Jungo yelled internally, no, don't you dare. Aline looked up and asked, hey, would you mind checking out my scars? That damn monster gave me a few new ones. The cockroach god cackled. Too late, I'm not stopping now, activating special mode. But before anything embarrassing could happen, Jungo bolted upright and climbed out of the bath. He muttered, good thing I got out of there in time, that cockroach god was seriously gonna ruin me. Suddenly, the TV turned on, a news anchor's voice echoed, roughly 50 kilometers from Mengjin City. Several workers were found dead while trying to remove monster remains. They were ambushed by an unknown group, not a single one survived. Jungo's eyes widened, wait, that's where I used to work, everyone, they're all dead now. The anchor continued, when the investigation team arrived, all they found were bodies, no traces of survivors. Jungo swallowed hard. If I'd been there, I would have died too. An emergency message came through the speakers. Citizens, if you see any abyss portals, report them immediately. These anomalies pose a serious threat to the city. The cockroach god whispered, Jungo, don't dwell on that pathetic past. I've got some good news for you. Jungo looked up. What kind of news? You absorbed a massive amount of energy in the last fight. You can revive Fatty. Jungo raised an eyebrow. Wait, why does it say Imperial Guard on him? The cockroach god replied proudly, think of yourself as a king. Fatty is your loyal general. As long as you're alive, Fatty's immortal. No matter how many times he dies, he'll always return when summoned. Jungo smiled faintly. So, he's basically invincible now? Though usually, generals protect the king. How's Fatty supposed to protect me with that tiny body? The god laughed. That's the beauty of it. Fatty can level up too. He can be your scout, your eyes in the world. You can share your vision with him, and see through his eyes. And just like that, Jungo summoned Fatty once more. Fatty, bursting into tears, hugged him and cried, big bro, I missed you so much. But, why do you look so weird now? You look human, cockroach god said. Close your eyes. Jungo, you can see this world through Fatty's vision. Just then, Fatty's body floated aimlessly into the bathroom, like a confused balloon drifting in a storm. Jungo scoffed, clearly irritated, idiot, you're gonna get us in trouble. If Aline catches you peeking again, she won't let you off easy. Get out. Now, he yelled from a distance, his voice sharp, you're gonna get us both killed. I've already unlinked your senses. If you die again, it's on you. But Fatty, clueless as ever, responded with confusion. Brother, what are you saying? I sensed you needed to peek inside, so I came here to help you. At that exact moment, Aline noticed Fatty. Her eyes narrowed. No hesitation, she launched her silk attack, pinning Fatty to the wall, and eliminated him with brutal efficiency. As Fatty's body vanished, Jungo winced. The backlash from their severed connection hit him hard. The cockroach god, almost apologetically, murmured, oh, I forgot to mention, if you're still linked with someone when they die, the pain is shared equally. 2 days late, the scene shifts to Aline standing beside Jungo, medical files in hand. Jungo, your results are in, and the amazing thing is, your body's completely normal. You're free now. You can live however you want. But Jungo wasn't smiling. Instead, he looked straight into her eyes and said, I want to join the extermination squad. Aline's expression hardened. Before you decide, there's something you need to know. Our squad has one of the lowest survival rates. Only 3 out of every 10 make it out alive. Even knowing that, do you still want in? Jungo didn't flinch. I'm an awakened. I have power. If I don't use it to protect people, I'll regret it for the rest of my life. That's why I need to join. Aline nodded. Alright then, the selection tournament begins in 7 days. But let me be clear, your skills are good, but not at the level of most competitors. And this year's competition, they say it's the hardest one in history. Jungo gave her a firm look. Vice Captain, I know it's a lot to ask, but could you pull some strings for me? I'm not saying you owe me for saving your life. I just really want to save people too. Aline stared at him for a moment, then cracked a smile. If that's how you feel, then get on your feet. I like that stubbornness. Let me show you what real special training looks like. Meanwhile, the chief commander observed everything from a distance. A concerned doctor stood beside him. Commander, I still don't understand why you altered Jungo's medical report. His gene test results, they're not even human. The chief commander remained silent for a beat before replying. Doctor, keep this a secret. I have a feeling that kid's going to do something far beyond what we've ever imagined. Later that day, Aline had taken Jungo to the entrance of a massive, swirling abyss. Jungo's eyes widened in shock. Aline, are you seriously throwing me into the abyss for special training? I've never even been in one before. How am I supposed to survive in there? He stared at the swirling black void, his thoughts racing. The abyss, a dimensional rift filled with monsters far stronger than anything on Earth. It's said that even an army of thousands couldn't clear a single high-ranked one. And now I'm going in, with a bunch of teens who barely look experienced. What the hell is this squad? Aline spoke as if reading his thoughts. These abyss portals are gateways to other worlds. Our world has encountered many types. We rank them from E class to S class. Depending on danger level, the deeper the rank, the bigger and deadlier the area becomes. She gestured toward the portal. This one isn't too dangerous. Our squad's been in it before. It's perfect for training. Once you're in the squad, clearing abysses will be your main job. So what better place to start? She raised her hand toward the portal. I'm opening it now. Everyone, get ready to enter. Her eyes shifted to one of the trainees. Justin, you've been inside before. Compared to the others, you have more experience. You'll lead the team. As the team emerged into the misty shadows of the abyss, Jungo looked around in awe. So this is what an abyss looks like. Monstrous creatures lurked among the trees, hybrid monkey snakes and spiders the size of small cars. Even the trees themselves towered above like titans. Jungo's jaw dropped. We're not on Earth anymore. This place is something else entirely. The other squad members glanced at Jungo uncertainly. Is this guy seriously here to train with us? Can he even survive in here? Despite their confusion, the group began advancing deeper into the abyss. That's when Justin tossed Jungo a heavy pack and said bluntly, "You look like this is your first time in the abyss. Don't touch any monsters accidentally. Your job is simple. Carry our gear and observe. You're not here to fight." But internally, Justin was annoyed. Why the hell was Aline favoring this guy so much? She was his goddess, and there was no way he'd let some random rookie get close to her. Jungo, however, didn't rise to the provocation. Instead, he chuckled and replied, "If I'm safe, what's the problem? I've got no issue carrying your stuff. You go fight the monsters. I'll handle this." His calm reaction stunned Justin, who'd expected anger or defiance. Instead, Jungo just smiled. Jungo thought, this is perfect. While they're out there risking their lives, I'll get to devour the monsters they kill. Justin stood there speechless. He's happy with this. I thought he'd be furious. How am I supposed to piss him off now? Jungo even offered to carry more. "Hey, you guys can give me your gear too. If I'm not gonna fight, at least let me help." He walked over to Liu Yao, who curtly declined. "I don't need your help. I can carry my own pack. And honestly, you shouldn't be doing this either. You were sent here as a teammate, not a porter. If you actually learned something here, maybe you'd be useful." Jungo smiled to himself. They think I'm weak, that I'm scared. But the truth is, I just need monsters to grow stronger. If I can devour them without lifting a finger, why should I care who does the killing? They do the work, I get the benefits. The battle began. Liu Yao unleashed lightning, frying dozens of monkey-like beasts in a single strike. Justin sliced through mantis monsters with deadly precision. Jungo watched in silence, mentally taking notes. Before coming here, I knew almost nothing, but now I understand how Awakeners fight. These weapons, they're called crystal weapons. Every time they kill a monster, the weapon absorbs its power. The more they kill, the stronger they get. He remembered what Aline had told him, that this squad was one of the best among the rookies. And it was true. Even the top fighters were starting to look exhausted after killing just a handful of monsters. Jungo observed closely. It's been 10 hours since we entered the abyss. They've taken down maybe 500 monsters in total. Justin alone has killed 310. Justin let out a victorious yell. Finally, after 310 kills, I've leveled up. Damn, that was tough. Watching them, Jungo murmured, they're fighting so hard. Becoming powerful looks exhausting. But for me, it's effortless. I'm nothing like them. He pulled out cooked monster meat and began eating calmly. And it's not even bad. The system echoed in his head. You have devoured snake ape flesh. Ability gained. Long arms. Jungo grinned. Eat. Get stronger. What could be better than this? I devour the monsters they kill, and I get their powers. And the best part? I don't have to lift a finger. As he kept eating, his abilities multiplied, one after another, like a gluttonous beast evolving in secret. Soon, he was full. I overdid it. All these abilities just from eating? Now I know what I need to do. He looked toward the others. If I can officially join this squad, I'll aim for their logistics division. I won't have to fight. I'll just watch and feast. Eventually, I'll become more powerful than all of them combined. He raised his hands to the sky. Praise the cockroach god. You truly are the greatest being in existence. Meanwhile, his squad mates stood in stunned silence, watching him from afar. Song Tao muttered, we're fighting for our lives here. We're bleeding, risking everything. And that guy, he entered with us. He's just sitting there, enjoying lunch. Another teammate added bitterly, we gave him our gear, and now, just watching him eat, I feel so envious. Elsewhere in the abyss, two terrifying monsters clashed for dominance, each vying for the title of ruler of this twisted, alien realm. The first monster appeared, Steelhorn, and his opponent was none other than the king of the snake monkeys. But in just a single, devastating strike, Steelhorn ended the Monkey King's life. Shocked, Jungo muttered. So this is the final boss of the abyss. Damn, Steelhorn really is powerful. He took down a snake monkey king like it was nothing. Do you really think you can defeat a monster that strong? He added, turning toward the others. That monkey was supposed to be on the same level as Steelhorn, and yet it was annihilated like it was nothing. We're far weaker than even that monkey, Justin spoke up, his voice steady despite the tension. I don't believe power is everything. We humans have something far greater, our minds, and if we use them right, we can take down monsters like these easily. He continued confidently, I've got a killer plan to bring down Steelhorn. If a new team like us manages to slay a boss-level monster, there's no doubt they'll let us into the squad. That's why, no matter what, we have to take it down. Jungo's thoughts, however, were uneasy. Is this guy insane? Did he already forget what Aline said before we entered? She had made it clear. Don't risk your life unnecessarily. If we pick a fight with something way stronger and something happens to us, the squad won't take responsibility. Out loud, Jungo said. Aline was clear. Don't mess with the boss monster. Look, do whatever you want. I won't stop you, but I'm not joining this mission, Justin snapped. And what are you even doing here? Just carrying our bags? Have you even killed a single monster since we got here? Whether you're with us or not won't change anything. If the fight scares you so much, go sit somewhere far away, and I don't know, guard our bags or something. Liao watched this unfold, uneasy. Why do I feel like Justin's planning something wrong? Is he setting Jungo up as a sacrifice? Justin then unrolled a crude map and pointed at a marked circle. Since we arrived, I've been mapping this place. See this zone? Monsters never enter it. If you go there, nothing will attack you, guaranteed. As Jungo walked away, he called out, don't worry about your gear. I'll guard it just fine. But if you guys can't handle the monster, run. Don't die for nothing. Elsewhere, Song Tao and Suke whispered to each other. What an idiot. He walked right into the trap. Liao turned to Justin, furious. Captain, what the hell are you doing? You're sending Jungo right into the place we're planning to fight Steelhorn. Justin didn't deny it. You're right. That's exactly where we'll fight. And I know Steelhorn is far too powerful for any of us to kill head-on. His voice turned cold. That's why I loaded Jungo's backpack with bombs. The moment Steelhorn spots him, he'll go in for the kill, and when he gets close enough, boom, one explosion, and that bastard of a boss monster will be blown to pieces. The best part? None of us have to risk a thing. We trade one piece of trash for a boss kill. Tell me, what could be better? Liao stood her ground. You've lost your mind. We can't just take someone's life like that, whether he helps or not. He doesn't deserve to die. She turned to leave. I'm telling Jungo everything. I'm not letting someone die in front of me. But before she could move, Justin blocked her path with a flash of his swift ability. I worked hard on this plan, and the rest of my team is on board. I knew from the start you'd pull something like this. That's why I never told you until now. If you try to warn Jungo, you'll have to get through the three of us first. We're already planning to kill him. Killing you two won't be a problem, so if you value your life, stay quiet, and support your team. Meanwhile, Jungo arrived at the so-called safe zone. What kind of monster is this? I'm pretty sure I never devoured it. As he reached for the beast to place it in his pack, the ground began to tremble. He turned sharply. That battle's happening a mile away. Could it really be so intense that the tremors are reaching here? No, that can't be it. Steelhorn is strong, but not strong enough to shake a mile with raw power, unless that bastard is heading this way. Suddenly, a stampede of monkeys rushed past him. Why are they all running away? Is something coming? And then, Steelhorn burst through the trees, crashing into the clearing. Without hesitation, he rammed his horn straight through Jungo's body and slammed him into a stone wall. Shocked, Jungo gasped. Why is Steelhorn here? This was supposed to be the safe zone. They were supposed to be fighting far away. The voice of the cockroach god echoed in his head. Jungo, you sustained serious injuries. Hold on, I'll use immortality to heal you. Gritting his teeth, Jungo asked, where are the others? Did this monster already kill them all? Is that why he came after me? Suddenly, a burning arrow flew through the air, slamming into the ground near the big backpack. Jungo stood frozen, horrified, as a chilling thought crossed his mind. Were there bombs hidden inside those backpacks? That could only mean one thing. This whole thing was planned from the start. Suddenly, the ground shook with a brutal detonation. The blast echoed through the cliffs as fire and smoke consumed the space. Gritting his teeth, Jungo muttered, I've been betrayed again. His voice trembled, not with fear, but with rage. How low can they sink? They used me like bait. Scene shifts to high above, on the cliffs. Squad members watched the blast. Justin let out a cocky laugh. I told you, the human brain is the deadliest weapon. Use it right, and you can take down any monster, no matter how strong. He turned to his team, grinning. To be honest, I'm more thrilled about killing Jungo than the monster. That bastard's face pissed me off every time I looked at it. But I ended both, the monster and that freak, in one blow. I swear, I'm a goddamn genius. My spot in this squad? Locked in. From now on, life's gonna be easy. But then, Liao gasped, pointing toward the smoke. Captain, look! Something's still standing down there. As the smoke cleared, their eyes widened. Jungo, alive, standing, and not just him, the horned monster too, very much alive. Justin's smirk faded. Wait, what the hell is going on? A blast that strong didn't even kill them? I get the monster surviving, but that kid too. Jungo's fists clenched, his eyes burned with fury. What did I ever do to you? We met for the first time today, and the first thing you do is try to kill me? We've never even fought, and yet you tricked me, laughed with me, then stabbed me in the back. You people, you're worse than the monsters. With a growl, Jungo reached up and yanked the steel horn from his chest. His monkey-like powers surged. He activated his abilities one by one, muscles expanding, energy surging. Then, with a roar, he lifted the horned beast off the ground with brutal force. You wanted to use me to get this thing killed? Let's flip the script. Now you will die by its hands. With that, he hurled the monster straight toward the cliff. The beast slammed directly onto Song Tao, pinning him down. Song Tao screamed, "Captain, help. It's too heavy. I can't move." Justin barely looked back. He's done. Wounded like that, he's useless. No point saving him. He turned to the others. Focus on the monster. Anyone who tries to save him will fight me instead. Song Tao choked out, "Captain, please. I've stood by you, good or bad, every step. You can't abandon me now." Justin's response was cold. He unleashed his bursting array attack, blasting Song Tao. The impact not only killed him, it also injured the monster severely. The silver-horned beast screamed in pain. The creature's rage flared. Justin narrowed his eyes. Looks like that got its attention. Good. It's too angry now to coordinate any attacks. He barked orders. Everyone, go all in. Hit it with everything you've got. Suke unleashed his fire powers, launching a devastating elemental attack. Liao followed with her full strength. But nothing happened. The monster barely flinched. Justin frowned. Keep attacking, Liao. I think it's working. It looks like it's finally taking damage. But then, something horrifying happened. The monster began absorbing their energy. Every elemental attack swallowed whole. Justin's face drained of color. What happened? Liao gasped. Wait, it has absorption abilities? All our attacks, it's feeding on them. She shouted to the others, panicked. Stop using elemental powers. Only physical attacks will work. She stared at the monster, trembling. All this time, it was faking being hurt. We've only made it stronger. Justin's thoughts raced. So that's why they said this thing was dangerous. It can absorb magic. No problem, only physical strength can beat it. He muttered. We'd need at least 2 fighters like Vice Captain Aline to even stand a chance. And then, without warning, Justin turned. His blade flashed. He struck down Suke, knocking him out cold. Liao screamed, "Justin, what are you doing? You said Suke was your best friend." Justin didn't even hesitate. He knocked Liao out with a single attack. You are all in my way. Your powers are magic-based. You're useless against this thing. If I leave you here, maybe it'll go after you, not me. And with that, Justin ran. Steelhorn roared and charged. It crushed Suke where he lay. And just as it raised its claws to kill Liao, but just as the blow was about to land, Jungo arrived, throwing himself between them and saving her. Liao, slowly opening her eyes, whispered, "Why did you save me? I was one of the ones who betrayed you." Jungo's voice was calm, but resolute. "I saved you, because when everyone else was handing me their explosive backpacks, you were the only one who gave me advice. You told me to stand up for myself, that I didn't have to do what they said,